And you know why they weren't fired up? Because there's no way in hell Stephanie White was going to ignore her.
But we did get some words from head coach Stephanie White today from FIBA practice as to exactly where Clark is at in the process.
Coach, you need somebody that doesn't have the tentacles, the roots.
It has Caitlin Clark listed as a game time decision, but the app is apparently populated by RotoWire. I don't know where their information.
What happens when some of the best minds in college basketball break down exactly how they would use Caitlin Clark? One Big Ten coach gave an answer so perfectly simple it might just change how you see her game forever. But here's the kicker. In just 1 minute, you'll also see the glaring coaching mistakes that sank Stephanie White's Vanderbilt program. Two completely different coaching philosophies collide here. One builds a dynasty, the other drives talent out the door. The question is, which path will Clark's career follow?
It comes from, if I had to best guess, that ESPN estimate of August 12th of her as her return, and the fact that there had been no official.
And poisoning every move they make, including front office moves, how they're using players like Caitlin Clark.
Status updates from the team since, put it up in the air, and then they have specific designations like out for season.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
And they are talking about how they would use Caitlin Clark. Now, if you're wondering, Mick Cronin from UCLA's in this.
That doesn't mean Caitlin Clark is not going to be back. It does not mean Caitlin Clark is not going to be back before too long. In fact, Natasha Howard said, "See you soon."
Flashback to the disaster that was Stephanie White at Vanderbilt. 46-83 in 5 years.
What if the secret to unlocking Caitlin Clark wasn't about her shooting at all? That three-point range pulls all the attention, but coaches in her conference kept pointing to another thing entirely, something they call the right of first refusal. It sounds simple, but it changes everything about how a team runs its offense. Here's the problem. Most teams take a star player and cram them into a system that's already in place. Plays are preset, movement is rigid, and the star becomes just one part of the machine. That works fine if you just want predictable results. But with a player who can read the floor in real time, you're choking the very thing that makes them dangerous.
Obviously a negative as far as how soon Caitlin Clark will be back, because she will be in practice before she returns to the court.
It would concern me. Since Stephanie White took over as head coach, at least 9 starters has transferred out.
I would guess at least a few practices before she returns to the floor. But that isn't to say there isn't progress.
Clark once had a game with 19 assists, 19, and you can't rack that up by clinging to a script. Picture this, she's inbounding, the ball comes right back to her, a single screen slides across the top, and suddenly she's got space. From there, it's up to her eyes and instincts. Does she attack off the dribble, hit the corner shooter, or throw a skip pass to the weak side?
In her offense, dealing with her, and said, "We're getting the hell out of here." That would worry me.
Being articulated there. Also, we knew that she was doing full court running, but Stephanie White saying more of it, full body weight, all that stuff.
Chelsea Hall, who notched 1,000 career points, Autumn newbie, transferred to Louisville and LSU respectively.
One Big Ten coach boiled it down bluntly: inbound the ball to her, set one screen, give her space. Now here's the question, what happens the moment you take the ball out of her hands? What if instead of letting her create from the jump, she's waiting in the corner while someone else walks it up? That's the vision versus scoring debate every coach with a superstar wrestles with. Do you use them as a finisher, or do you let them pull the strings? The verdict from multiple coaches who've game planned against her: she creates more value leading the offense than anyone else in the game right now.
And then the part that stood out to me the most was different types of movement on the court. So she's not just running in a straight line.
Honestly, Or is her coaching philosophy is, you got a bunch of Horace Grants.
Running in a straight line, you don't have to worry about your groin so much. But more so, lateral movements that you would have to do on the floor.
Some coaches understand that instantly. And some? They go the opposite way, and that's when things start to fall apart. Now imagine doing the exact opposite of what those coaches just said. That was basically the story of Stephanie White's run at Vanderbilt. In 5 seasons, her record sat at 46 wins and 83 losses. That's not just a rough patch, that's a program stuck in neutral while the rest of the conference hit the gas. And then there's the part you can't explain away by tough scheduling. Player after player walked out the door. We're talking at least 9 starters over that stretch. Chelsea Hall left. Autumn Newby left. Jordan Cambridge was injured, but others like Bryony Alexander were suddenly wearing different jerseys. Sydney Shelton? Gone. It became a revolving door, and every time a major piece left, the team had to restart from scratch.
It's very concerning. It really is. That watching the coach's video sent off that.
Those are the things that you'd have to worry about protecting your groin on. So it does sound like the Fever are continuing to build her up.
Not only did she lose, she was responsible for the team's best talent getting the hell out of Dodge.
Instead of getting the right pieces and molding the offense and defense to them, it felt like the system was locked in place. Players had to fit that model or sit. And when you lose one star, sure, maybe something just didn't work out. But when you're losing multiple all-conference level players year after year, it's a warning sign that something in the foundation isn't right. Here's the thing, this isn't just about drawing plays on a whiteboard. You can have the most detailed scouting report on the planet, but if players don't feel valued, heard, and trusted, they'll check out. They might show up on the floor, but mentally, they're already gone.
Get galvanized, get cemented together, get fired up to try to help Sophie win? Nah. The team went out there
step by step, block by block, if you will. We've also seen her shooting in the background, so it's not like she's not shooting the basketball. We've seen
that should be a proactive red flag flare going up. And I still believe
culture matters as much as the clipboard. Vanderbilt turned into the perfect what not to do example. And that's why this connects back to Clark. You can have the ultimate game changer, someone who can dominate offensively and control the pace, but hand her to the wrong leadership, and her edge gets blunted fast. Which means her entire WNBA future is going to come down to landing in a place that understands exactly who she is, and how to let her run the show. Even the greatest players can't carry a bad system forever. You can have all the talent in the world, but if the vision around you is off, everything slows down. Caitlin Clark's WNBA career is going to come down to more than her box scores. Watch closely when she gets to the league. Who controls the ball? Who makes the big decisions late in games? The right coach will let her run the offense and trust her instinct.